Everyone just wants to know who got a second date or if I'm in love. I'm not in love. I do like someone. Oh, this looks cool. I'm into this vibe. This was one of my favorite things I've ever done and something I never would have predicted for myself. My intentions coming into this were to date. I wanted to date. I just wanted to do it in kind of a weird way. I think I said it best in the last episode that I would eventually like to have a great love in life. I don't think I'm terribly unique in that desire. How was I going to find a great love when I really haven't been thinking about or prioritizing dating whatsoever? And it's funny because I have seen direct instances in other areas of my life where if I put time and focus and energy into those areas, shit happens. Like, things start to move. This was no different, really. One of the questions that I got as the show was being released was, did you take inspiration from other reality dating shows? I think it's fairly obvious from the way I edit the show, but no, I definitely not. I have watched Love is Blind, I watched The Golden Bachelor. I never really got into the other reality dating shows. Those shows have a tendency to make contestants look really stupid and heighten their emotions and just get as much drama and entertainment out of them as they possibly can. I would be sick if I did that with the guys who came on the show. Dating is already vulnerable enough. The last thing you would want is to have someone messing with your image in an unsavory way. I cannot believe the trust that these guys put in me with the creative control that I had. Because the other thing is, they didn't know me beforehand. They didn't know me from Adam. I could have been some dud who was not emotionally invested in dating at all and instead just wanted to use them for content. Luckily, that wasn't my intention, but like the amount of trust that they put in me, not knowing that, I took that so seriously. I didn't want to make any of them look stupid or feel embarrassed. Essentially, I came from the mindset of, if I'm not going to fall in love with the person sitting across from me, I would like someone else to be intrigued by them. I did try to give everyone very flattering edits, and that makes it sound like, oh, I doctored them up to make them look better than they are. No, all of the guys were awesome. I could go on about this for days. I don't have a single bad thing to say about anyone who came on the show, which in the dating world, especially like in the realm of dating, that's so highly unusual. I've had crappy dates before, weird dates. God, like all of these guys, I just felt like were so dynamic in their own way. I had a different chemistry with all of them. So if any of them are watching this, I want to express my sincere gratitude for putting yourself out there and doing this super weird thing that in the long run won't matter at all. But yeah, thank you for trusting me and trusting that I wouldn't abuse the creative control that I had. But yeah, all the guys who came on the show were top-notch humans that I'm so grateful I got to spend time with and get to know. Did FLIRT make you fall in love with dating or the creative process? I fell in love with my version of dating. I love that I attached a creative project to it because it actually did motivate me to date, but it totally did make me fall in love with the creative process again. This was the exact project I needed to fuel the fire of other projects that have been sitting on the back burner for a while. I'm so fired up and locked in to the next thing. This show served me in so many ways. The other aspect of this project that absolutely lit me up inside was the fact that it was a secret. I didn't tell anyone in my life that I was doing this. The only people who knew I was making a dating show were the guys on it. Life was so juicy during the entire production time. I made the logo and got on the apps mid-January and started dating like that very next week. It was the hardest secret to keep, but so much fun. I was excited about the project itself, but in doing it, I realized how major of a player secrecy is to my creative fulfillment and motivation. I knew I was gonna have to talk about this eventually. Actually, that's a lie, I didn't. I fully did not anticipate how invested people would be in the outcome of these dates, which is so stupid of me. I appreciate the emotional investment from everyone who has watched and the interest in my love life, I guess. If you haven't seen all 7 dates and you still want to take a guess at who got a second date, I highly recommend pausing this video now and going to watch all of the dates and see if you can pick out, just based off of the chemistry of the episode, who ended up getting a second date. So yes, I don't even know. I did tell myself at the beginning of this that if the guys were going to be vulnerable enough to put themselves on a show and be used for content for the sake of my dating life, then I would have to match that vulnerability and have skin in the game myself, in some sense. So Patrick got a second date. We've seen each other a handful of times. I like him. That's pretty much where things stand. Like, we like each other, but we are still very much getting to know each other and enjoying dates off camera, and that is that. I have gotten direct inquiries about a potential season 2, and right now I'm kind of up in the air with a season 2. I would actually love to produce it because I do genuinely enjoy the production of this type of content. Logistically, that would be so much more complicated because I know for myself, I'm not interested in being the lead for another season. And so there would have to be some sort of casting process for a season 2. And my thinking behind that was, well, I could either ask one of the guys from season 1 if they wanted to put themselves in that position. I could ask a close friend or a family member if they are interested in dating in this way, or I could do like an open casting call, which is probably the least likely to happen. It would be a bit of a logistical nightmare because the reason why season 1 was possible and worked so well was it was essentially just 2 people scheduling a date, because I could handle the entire setup and breakdown of the gear. I handled all of the post-production. With a season 2 and a different lead, it just gets more complicated because not only do I have to be available and they have to be available, but all the dates have to be available as well. And not to mention the fact that I might have to pop in and out of the room to manage cameras and audio while 2 people are on a date, which again, not really ideal. So logistically, there are things to work out before actually going ahead with a season 2. That said, I am open to it because I do really love the concept of the show, and I think it's a cool way to meet people who are open-minded at the very least. And I would love for someone else to go through the experience and potentially find a meaningful connection. That would be my hope in producing another season. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts, or if you would want to nominate someone for a season 2, or if you have any ideas or suggestions on how to go about it. I am totally open. That is a wrap on FLIRT. Thank you so much for watching and being invested in the dates. I think for myself personally, one of my objectives in doing this was to just get better at flirting. And I feel a lot more confident in my flirting skills now after reviewing all of the game tape. Yeah, this was just like such a cool, weird thing that I can't believe actually happened. If you have an idea that for some reason you just can't get out of your head, fucking do it and make it happen. You will never regret the time or energy that you put into a creative pursuit, because inevitably other stuff around you starts to move because there's momentum being built. And that is probably the thing I'm most grateful for in all of this, is I just feel so fired up for so many different projects. And it's all because of flirting. Crazy.